guests are ready to come on stage. So, hide your children, protect your loved ones. It's Briana, Buckmaster, camera! What you gonna do? What you gonna do when I come home? You bad girl, bad girl. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come home? You bad girl, bad girl. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad girl, bad girl. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
They're gonna hide behind a microphone stand? Is that gonna protect you, Robert?
Sure. You almost put a hole in the drum.
I know.
I'm hiding so you can't see me.
Did you see what I did though? First time I kicked it, I missed it. I missed it because I'm 40 now, so that's what happens. And then the second time, I hit the drums. So good luck to me, everybody.
Well,
Good luck to me.
work on your aim, because next time that's what we want, right?
Martin,
Do
come
that.
here. I gotta work on my aim. Fuck you then. Just kidding. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your time.
It's okay, we're fine, we're fine. Got it.
Hello, New Orleans. Someone left us a note. God damn it, those lights are bright.
They're very bright.
You're gonna go like this the whole time.
I feel a little bit like a possum.
How is everyone? I always do that. I tucker myself out with that intro.
That's okay. We're allowed. I need a quick moment here. I did not think this through. I mean, obviously, we've got. Kim's got.
Look at your socks.
Oh yeah, that's no face. No face socks. But also, I usually am at least aware of the fact that there's a stage and you're an audience, and I wear shorts when I wear a skirt. I did not do that. So, someone
Naked,
for the
that's
love
the
of
day.
fucking God, if I start flashing you, please stop me before the pictures come back and haunt me on social media.
Or hear me out. Hear me out.
No, the answer is
Let's start an OnlyFans account. It is about fucking time, Ms. Rhodes.
Yes.
Let's set this shit up. I'm gonna keep, what you're gonna see me do is you're gonna keep me doing lots of this,
And then she will
and
sit
then
down.
not sit down, okay? It's my little trick. Did you guys think you were gonna ask questions? You're not gonna!
There's no question. Oh, Sam thanked us for the gingerbread men shenanigans.
Well done to everyone out there.
Oh, that was a long run for a short slide, though, wasn't it? I went through a lot of work last night and did none of the work.
I don't know who I was talking to. I think I was talking to Sam, where I was like, well, I was just sat there, or stood there, watching Kim's brain work, and you can actually see it.
You can hear the gears going.
Her eyes just go back, and she's like, no, that's not right, that's not quite, it's almost there. And I was just like, you got this. It's like watching somebody run a race, like a sprint. You're like, you're so close. I can see the sweat coming off of you.
That's taking a lot of effort.
I gotta stop looking at the lights. Okay, we will take a question from you.
All right, hi.
Hello.
So,
I'm gonna hurt myself at this convention. Yeah, get a picture of that. Put it on my OnlyFans account. A fully clothed, like very lazily sloppy woman puts her leg on dirty metal.
I paid for it.
Enjoy. I got an ooh out of you. Secretly love it. Yes, question. Go ahead. Go.
All right, so, Kim, you've been very open about your daughter having autism, but this is a question for both of you. In terms of like regulatory fidgets you find yourself using as adults, or things you fidget or do to help yourself regulate, whether you're like anxious and you need to just move around or you have a lot of energy, or if you personally have fidgets that you guys use. I'd love to hear about it and just spread some more awareness about that being a normal thing that people need.
I think what I just did was a perfect example, not to interrupt, but I've talked about this before, is like my energy when I am nervous, when my cortisol I feel is rising, I need to do everything I can to kind of get it out of me, and then you will see this happen in these panels, that I will start to come down, I will then start answering questions appropriately, I will stop referencing OnlyFans, maybe. And then near the end of the panel, I will start to power out, and you will see it in my eyes because you're like, we're losing Briana. Can you explain for me the fidget?
Well, I think so.
Or not.
It's-
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
It's a physical express. It's like when the kettle pot pops off because there's so much steam it has to pop out. So for me, so there's also I think a difference between a fidget and a stim because I stim when there's a lot of anything. I have learned that my energy pops off any different way. And a fidget, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, a fidget tends to be limited more to anxious energy. So like it can be as simple as people who sit and pop their foot or move it. Mine are usually manual and oral. That said, I will answer your question because one of the important things I think from my life, and I can only teach from my example, is once I recognize that my brain has a need, like my brain is going to get its need filled, one way or the other. But when I'm suppressing it and being like, shut the fuck up, brain, you're not helping me right now. What my fidgets were self-harm. The obvious ones of smoking, drinking, plucking, biting. I was a big biter. I would bite. I would get. And now, when somebody's like, oh, actually, your brain has a need and there's ways you can aim it. I discovered just last convention, I had a necklace on that was very tactily pleasing. And I wore it when I was singing, and I fucking forgot it this week, and so I'm probably gonna have a massive meltdown Saturday night special, so come with me. But I wore it, and it was, and I, like, everybody was like, that was the best you've ever done, that was it, and I was like, it's because the entire time I was like, this feels nice. Oh, am I done? Okay, I'm done. So it helps me not only release energy, but it helps me focus things that otherwise become self-destructive. So it's gonna come out, it's just how it comes out. So I think one of the best things that I can do for myself is recognizing that needs don't mean I'm wrong. The world not filling my needs doesn't mean the world can go fuck itself and I have to live without my needs being filled. And I think recognizing like, oh, I get to touch things because it helps my brain go, that feels nice. Yeah. So just fucking giving myself permission. But yeah, a lot of I'm very tactile. And I also apparently am very oral and I'm not aware of it. I do, and
You're not.
I'm oral. I'm incredibly oral. That's my own.
I was thinking verbal is what I was thinking.
I am verbal, but I'm also very like, I'm aware of the way my mouth feels, and so I pop it and move it, and yes. That's dirty.
Yeah.
It's okay, you can laugh at that.
I'll laugh at that. I'm scared. It's not, they're busy. They're all making accounts for us. I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Thank
you for inviting that education. I love that. Hello.
Hi, this question is for Kim.
Briana's going to answer it though.
Yeah.
Unless
it's a serious question.
I was wondering how different it was from going like a show from Sweet Love Zach and Cody to Supernatural.
Well, okay, so here's what happened. So I was in a coffee shop one day, and a director came up to me. He's like, "You look like a mom. You must be a mom on the show that I am producing called Sweet Life of Zach and Cody."
Oh yeah, you got it.
The show's called?
Yeah, the show's called, yeah.
So originally they had hired Zach and Cody were going to be played by two monkeys, and they were, but there was some problems on set with flying poop, and so they ended up hiring these two young twins named Cole and Dylan, and they were little, but man, would they pulled so many shenanigans on set. One time Dylan grabbed a chunk of my hair and just cut it right off. Cut it right off. Who did I just say? Dylan?
Dylan.
And then Cole, he's the real troublemaker. You guys know, right?
Yeah.
You know. Well, I mean, one time he heard me swear, which you know I never swear. Kim Rhodes does not swear. So Cole heard me swear, and he told Disney, Mr. Disney on me. He told Mr. Disney that that I could no longer be here, and that my punishment would be that that they had to dye my hair in the same color as the wallpaper, which is true. That did happen.
That did happen.
Actually
That
happened.
did. Wasn't a punishment.
As to your point, working with scoundrels, scallywags like Jared and Jensen. So Jared is Dylan, and Jensen is Cole. So Jared he was always pulling pranks on me. One time he completely flipped my trailer. Thank God I wasn't in it. That's very dangerous. We all know how large Jared is. Very dangerous. And then Jensen was just always tattling on me. He did not like anybody misbehaving on set. No. And anytime anybody swore or even talked about swearing, he would report to Mr. Supernatural.
To Mr. Disney, actually, which is weird. To Mr. Disney.
Yeah, Jensen is a very straight edge gentleman. Somber. Does not like to fuck around. Like, I even feel embarrassed saying the F word with a picture of him from 1992. Look, at he's judging me right now. Like, I feel like I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Just looking at him. He's like, I'm not gonna give you this diner sandwich. Anyway, I hope that answers your question.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if you actually want to answer that.
Well, no, because there really wasn't much difference other than technical shit, which was really boring to answer. Like, I realized when I'm like, okay, so going from a multi-cam to a single cam and the entire audience, you just hear go, what? She's done now, okay?
Now, I've heard that sitcoms are the best schedule for actors on the face of the planet. Is that true?
Well, not as good as voiceover.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. But
voiceover is pretty
sure.
But yeah, sitcom is really like you show up on Monday, as long as you're not working with children. If you're working with children that have a very limited, like, there's rules about how long you can work those little fuckers. Yeah, whatever. I guess they need like school and
child labor laws.
Yeah. So yeah. That being said, there were a number of times when I was still there at 2 o'clock in the morning, covered in rancid whipped cream that was pretending to be pie because they had to shoot the boys out. But a sitcom schedule is usually you read it on Monday, you go away. They fix it Tuesday, Wednesday, you rehearse it. Thursday, you pre-tape. Friday, you rehearse it and shoot in front of an audience and you go home. It's awesome.
Yeah,
It's fun.
it's great.
There you go. Supernatural, on the other hand, you are also still up at 2 o'clock in the morning, not covered in rancid whipped cream, but still up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
You're just covered in some barn
Yeah,
dust.
just covered in fake blood. So,
That's right.
so yeah, still pretty much the same thing. Huh. Exactly the fucking same.
I was trying to think if I was ever covered in blood, and I think it was only in Hibbing 911 where I cut the... And then it was so funny, this is how new I was to television, is that when I cut the vampire's head off, I turn around to Dean, and he's like, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm like, you want me so bad. And then I smile, and there's blood on my face. And then we walk out to the barn in the next scene, and there's no blood. And I remember talking to Trish, who's key makeup. Oh no, she wasn't keen at that time, but I remember asking her, I was like, is it not weird that there's no blood on my face? And she's like, no. That's just how it is at this show. People just forget. Or they don't forget, but the producers are like, we don't have time! Shoot the shot! Anyway, I remember thinking that.
If you keep it consistent, it becomes a theme.
Of just not.
The show is supernatural. It's a thing. It's a theme. It's there. There's the blood.
Oh,
It's gone. Don't think.
Oh, so that's, don't think. That's right.
Don't think. Don't pull a sweater. That Jared has so many different euphemisms for just don't think about it. He'd be like, you're thinking, stop that. Or he'd be like,
say the words.
Oh, there's the thread, there's the thread. Oh, your whole sweater's coming off. I'm like, I get it. All right.
That's funny.
Don't ask questions.
Of course. Don't ask questions. Nope, don't be smart. Okay.
Yes.
Somebody ask a question about that? Hi.
Hi. Real quick, I know Wayward Sisters, I think a lot of us were really looking forward to it and were disappointed when it didn't pan out. I was wondering, in terms of like the first season, what you two would have, each of you, what you would have liked to have seen from an overall season and what you would have liked your characters' respective arcs to have been.
Well, thank you. Two things. First, did you know that this is our first time at New Orleans because the last New Orleans convention we missed because we were shooting Wayward Sisters? I know. And we were shooting it. We missed it because at the last minute, Phil Segretia decided he wanted a drone shot, which was an incredible shot. But it took 20 minutes and we had to miss the whole weekend because of that one shot. But we were like, at the time, we were like, this is our show. We're gonna take responsibility for our show. We don't care. And now we're like, fucking drone shot. The other thing is that I actually kind of know because what they have to do is they have to create the arc of the first season, whether they know that it's gonna go through or not. And I know that Donna was going to become a vampire. I know! Yeah, we were super stoked about that. I don't remember anything else that was in the breakdown.
Oh, well, and I think I've gone on record as saying this, and I think it bears repeating. I think that we all learned a lot from you and the way you love Supernatural and the way you show up for Supernatural. And I think Wayward really could have been an opportunity to take what we've learned from you and to take how we've expanded from you and to create stories that reflect that. Because I think it's important that we have canon queer characters, that we have people that gender is a more fluid concept for, that we have stories that are told because of our expanded awareness, that not just because it's fucking right, it is right, but the reason we do it is because it fucking matters so much to say yes back. Because you have made me so much more than who I was when I started this show. And I really fucking wanted a show that was more. So that was what I wanted to see. I wanted to see everything stretch and be everything we fucking love and more. Just devour the more of what the Supernatural fandom is. Thank you. I'm done now.
Hi, Kim.
I'm right here.
Kimmy,
I know, but I was crying. But he's like, okay,
Check in with Kim. Check in with Kim.
That was a lot. Okay,
We'll roll it back. All right, I forgive you.
So you're amazing and beautiful and a badass, but the question is for Briana.
awesome. See, there we go. That's why she started with me.
That never happens. Do you want to answer for me? I might. I'll hear the question first. Let's hear the question.
Okay, so I just wanted to know if anyone's ever brought up Repo the Genetic Opera at a convention? Do you remember being on it, or am I just, no? Maybe?
You know, so my work on Repo Generic Opera, generic, it's genetic. But we all know it's, yeah. So the audition process was actually very interesting because it was a genetic opera. They, at first, before they ever saw me, I had to submit a sample of my DNA. Because if I was not genetically appropriate for the role, obviously they weren't gonna fucking cast me. So then the next thing I had to do was go in and sing an aria. So I submitted my DNA, I sang an aria, and then they had, it was very interesting because I was auditioning behind a big mask. I don't know if you know this, but this is actually, you've heard of Masked Singer? One of the producers was a PA in this audition process, and they just took the idea of the audition process and made a fucking show about it. So we should all be famous. But yeah, so we auditioned in big paper mache hats, so they couldn't see us. So they knew our DNA was appropriate, and then they heard me sing I Personally Was a Bunny, but it had one floppy ear, so I was like a lop-eared bunny. I think that kind of gave me a little edge, because, you know, producers love slight imperfections. And so I sang my aria. They knew my DNA was right. And then there was the moment where they take off your head, and mine got stuck. And there's a little, like, if you look next, when we're doing autographs, there's a little tiny scar right underneath my jaw. I'm a little sensitive about it, but right now I'm feeling good, so I'm going to tell you about it. Don't make fun of me about it, I'll cry. But there's a little scar because the thing got wedged, and that's very close to my jugular vein. And I was pretty sure I had already nailed the audition. But that cinched the deal because basically they knew I was going to sue the shit out of them. Being Canadian, it would have been for a nominal fee of just medical fees. But I still was probably going to be able to sue them if they didn't hire me. So they did hire me, and the funny story, the name was originally supposed to be Lopsy Mopsy, but they thought that was too close to it and they didn't want to make fun of it, so they changed it. So that is how I got that job, and thank you for asking.
It's all 1,000% true. Not a moment of that story was a lie. Actually, the truth is that was my very, very, very first film gig, and I don't think I ever did anything until like 10 years later in film television again. This is not related to that statement, but I'm pretty sure I got cut out of it. So it's so funny because I have a full name, Sherry Alviso, and IMDb, and I got invited to the screening of it. And halfway through, I was with Jose, who we just started dating at the time, and we were starving. So we pretended to go to the bathroom and never came back. Is that not the most on-brand thing you've ever heard? I was like, I could give two shits about some fucking Hollywood screen. I need a goddamn sandwich. So we left to go eat, and I don't know if I'm in it because we've never watched it since. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. The story is much better. Thank you. Thank you for your question. That was really fun.
Hi guys.
Hi.
I just want to say thank you so much for being a great and badass role model for all females, whether you're born female or identify as female. That's awesome for you guys. And in the mentality of saying yes, Kim, when can we expect your Wayward podcast to come back? Because I love what you guys talk about, and all the topics are just, they're relatable for everyone, and it's so important that you guys cover some of those topics.
Thank you.
It is intense. The podcast is still officially on hiatus. However, Briana doesn't live in Los Angeles anymore, and it's very difficult to get her crammed into my closet these days. That's just logistics. It's the facts.
Now, we have, in the past, recorded them in hotel rooms at conventions, but we've just started back with the conventions, and so I feel like we are tiptoeing into it. Now, that being said, we did renew the hosting service for it. If we weren't going to do it, we would have let it go. So the idea is, yes, to get behind it, but I don't know, we kind of just like we're prioritizing other things in life, and then again, the conventions just started up. So it's not a no, it's a
Right now, it seems, and and I'm just gonna say this for me. Right now, it seems like too much work to be enjoyable. And I don't want to start resenting something I love so much.
Because we, of course, don't make money off of it, which was never why we did it. But at the time, we were not also dealing with a global pandemic. And so we are, yes, there's other things that our energy is being usurped by. Does that make sense? And we don't have the abilities to, I live in a tiny little apartment. I don't have a studio in my house. I know some people do. I don't. So otherwise we would probably try to patch it through or something. But anyway, we will do them probably occasionally more than we will do it regularly, which I think sounds more fun. Yeah? Okay. Final answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is kind of a podcast right here.
Exactly.
It's really-
And occasionally we'll do like, maybe we'll do like a live or something like that, like on the internet, when we figure out how to do that. But
So many buttons
I
to
know.
push.
Hi guys,
hi.
I'm so excited to meet you. My question is, if you could be on any paranormal show that wasn't supernatural, what would you be on and what?
Doctor Who. Sorry, that's not technically paranormal, but that's genre and fuck you, that's my
What
guess.
are paranormal shows?
I would say anything that has just, it's not like a normal TV show where you have like day-to-day life, like there's something different than what your regular life would be like charms, angels.
Fantasy count?
Does fantasy count?
Vampire Diaries, yeah, she's got a bunch of it.
No, I don't want to be in Vampire Diaries. I'm 75 years old till then. Is that show still on? Well, see.
Legacies is.
I don't know. Pick something for me. I said Game of Thrones, but that's fantasy.
Fantasy counts.
You didn't say fantasy. You said paranormal. Paranormal is very specific. Hey, Game of Thrones. Final answer.
Yeah. Can I take back and say, the season of Good Omens? That's up there too.
It's a cartoon.
I said that's up there too.
Oh, up there too.
Yes.
It's like that's like a dark cartoon. Thank you so much for your confusing question.
Thank you guys.
Great job.
Hi.
Hello.
So first off, Kim, I'm so excited just to talk to you. My question is for you. Since you've known Cole and Dylan Sprouse since they were little, do you support Cole by watching Riverdale?
I don't watch any television. Now this is the interesting thing. Do I support him? 150%. I am so proud of those boys. I am so proud of them. They were exquisite when I worked with them. They continue to be exquisite. I love them. But I am not going to apologize for the way I prioritize my time. Our television is upstairs and I don't even know how to turn it on. There are a number of remotes in our house. I don't understand what any of them fucking do.
Nobody watches actual television sets anymore.
Is that true?
I
I wouldn't even know how
Sometimes I have a TV and I have all the apps on the TV. I don't have cable or anything. I'll still watch it on my fucking laptop. I was like, it's too far away from my face. Like a toddler.
That's my excuse too. But I have a lot of priorities in my life that when I'm done meeting them and I have time for me, I like to reclaim my brain and do for me. So, do I support Cole? Yes. Is one of the ways I support him by watching the show he's on? No, it's not. Thank you for asking, though. Hi.
Hello.
I feel like everybody's like, you suck, Kim. We hate you now. I'm like, possibly. I don't know. But I'm being honest. I'm being fucking honest.
This isn't a Riverdale convention, Kim. You're safe.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I get heart's eyes every time I watch your TikToks where you adopt everyone.
You're my baby!
Okay. So imagine Donna and Jody have adopted all of us. We are all hunters. What is the heaviest rule in the house? Like check in every time you go on a hunt. What is the silliest? Like don't put calf's brains in the eating fridge for potions.
Oh, yeah. Like, but silly, but not to us, right? I think Jody would be really fucking specific about which refrigerator is for food and which refrigerator is for friends. Because friends aren't food. If they need to go in the fridge for their good, your good, anybody's good, I don't care. But label them and put it in the fridge in the garage. If you put friends in the food fridge, you eat them.
I didn't understand the question. Can you translate?
I'm so sorry.
The question is, we've adopted everybody. Yes, okay. Jody and Donna's house for wayward hunters.
Okay, yeah.
What is the most serious, don't fucking break this rule? And what is the silliest, don't fucking break this rule? And I gave the silliest option.
I think Donna's would be kind of the same because the things she's strict about would probably seem silly. I bet she would be like, you don't miss Sunday dinner. I feel like Donna would be very like, I don't care what's going on. I don't care if you guys aren't getting along. I don't care if you're covered in blood. You show up for the roast.
Oh my God, the scene where Jody's trying to explain to Donna why they didn't make it to Sunday dinner, but Donna's very, very upset. But meanwhile, bullets are flying, body parts are going back and forth. And she's like, but I made a rule. Look, Donna, it's not, look, I'm sorry. I know that your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. Now is not the time.
Okay, well, when's the time, Jones?
I get it now. I get it. Final answer. Yeah. So Sunday, yeah. And I think Jody's, I like to think, this might be Kim projecting, but I think Jody's hard and fast rule, quote unquote, because as we know, we cannot make anybody do anything, but her hardest request is don't lie. I will love anything about you. We will find a way to any solution, but do me the courtesy of telling me the fucking truth.
I think that's a good rule for life, honestly.
That's why I wasn't sure if that was Kim or Jody, but that's Kim projecting onto Jody.
Brilliant.
Jody's jam is like,
I support that.
well, I will respect
Kim
you.
and Jody.
Yeah. Tell me your truth, even if it hurts me.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that than a comfortable lie.
Ew, gross. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. Did y'all ever expect to become such positive, great role models for anybody in life and help them break out of their shell and become who they truly are?
I missed the very first part of it. Did we all what about that? Because that was beautiful. Oh, did we expect?
Did you expect to become such beautiful, positive role models for everyone and help them break out of their shell and become who they truly are?
Oh, Jesus, fuck no.
That's such a beautiful offer in that question. So thank you so much. I will do everything in my power to not deflect and make a joke, and I will receive your very sweet compliment. Thank you. I mean, yes and no, I guess. I guess if I'm to be honest, I think the stuff that I went through as a youngster gave me an opportunity to build a strength and kind of a thicker skin, and I think that I may be making an assumption, but people kind of saw that I didn't care what people thought. I was doing whatever I wanted, but the truth was I cared quite a bit. Now I think I care a lot less, and that's because I've made the realization that I don't need anybody's approval except for my own. And that takes some learning. And usually it comes from some heartache of some kind. And I've had heartache throughout my life, different flavors of heartache, if you will. But when I was a youngster, I was so rejected on a regular basis that I I just kind of made the decision as a grown-up that I wasn't going to allow people to tell me what I could and couldn't do. Now, a resistance like that, I think, can sometimes come with some inner turmoil that maybe you're shelling yourself from. You're shelling yourself from like other people seeing, and that was my experience. But on Supernatural, the show, being an actor, we don't get the opportunity to do this. We get this opportunity because of these conventions, and mostly because you guys are showing up for us, honestly. And so I think that back to your question, when I think of how I thought I would present as a grown-up, maybe, if I'm thinking about what I was wanting to be, I think that I dreamed I would be. Honestly, I think I dreamed I would be the woman that I am. Yeah. Kim's waiting for me to cry. Not gonna. That's it.
Yeah, what she said. I'm proud of you. That was beautiful. I love you. I can only add, I don't think there's any such thing as a one-way gift. I showed up because you invited. So if my process has lit something up for you, it's only because you created the space for me to be this. I love that quote, we're all just walking each other home. So I thank you for that. Did I expect it? Absolutely not. Do I feel it? Sometimes. And it's a journey, and I'm grateful that you're here with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
What's your guys' biggest fear?
Our biggest fear. Cool. There's just so many. I mean, I think that my biggest fear would be probably something that a lot of people would share, would be that as I get older, as I reach the later part of my life, I feel like I did not show my loved ones enough love, I think, would be my biggest fear, more specifically my daughter. Kind of all my really visceral, really terror-involved fears involve my daughter. Which is probably ego-based, because I think that she's part of me, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's a fucking weird question, because my fear is not a cerebral experience. Which is my fucking challenge, right? Like, I'll be in the middle of, I'm so scared, I'm so scared, I'm so scared, and my brain is like, you're perfectly safe right now. And I'm like, this isn't about you! This is about being scared right now! So if you ask my deep, deep, deep core, and it'll change second to second, but right now, I guess if I have to answer the question, my biggest fear is that there is no such thing as unconditional love, and I have never actually met the conditions to truly be loved. Yeah, I heard somebody go, ooh. You fucking know what I'm talking about, right? That's because, like, that's I think would be my greatest fear is, by the way, no one loves you. That's my greatest fear.
Well, luckily, you'll never have to experience that, Kim.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you. And love isn't love. Like I can love myself. I'm learning how to do that. But it's not a cerebral thing. Fear is that voice that has gotten its teeth in my experience for some reason, and is like, hey, fucker, for some reason, I have some power today. I don't know why, so that's, yeah.
We let them crawl in, and we let our fears believe that they're protecting us, when more often they're not, they're not.
Oh yeah. Like, I'm scared I'm never gonna work again.
Right.
Like, that's a big fear of mine. What are the I will probably live for another 30 years. Jack willing. I fucking will probably have another job at some point. Yes. But the brain is like,
Right. Because it thinks it's protecting you by going, prepare yourself.
oh yeah.
And you're like, don't prepare yourself. That's a falsehood. Don't prepare yourself.
It doesn't do, speaking
Doesn't
as
work.
someone whose worst fears have come true, and I feared the fuck out of them before they happened, that fear did me no good when the shit finally happened. That's like sitting there and thinking, if I'm just scared enough of the train hitting me, when it ultimately hits me, it'll be fine. Won't hurt. Well, no, it doesn't work that
Still
way.
hurts.
Yeah.
And my experience is that it never hurts as bad as you think it's going to.
That was not my experience.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey. So my question is, if you guys could ask your characters on the show any question or piece of advice, what would you ask them and what do you think they'd say?
What was the first part?
If you guys could ask, you and Kim could ask Jody and Donna any piece of advice, what would you ask them and what do you think they'd say?
Dear Jody, how do you talk to Dean and not get a sweaty upper lip? I don't know, my brain is totally fine at this point, but my upper lip still doesn't know what the fuck
it's mind of its own.
when it talks to those two. It's just like, what's going on? Huh.
It's the cortisol is reminding you. The man spice is in the room. I think I would ask Donna how she got to the position she got to and it was able to stay so nice. Because women so often are told that nice is weak and kindness it doesn't get you to the top. And yet here she is being a sheriff and she's pleasant as punch. I would like to know that. 'Cause I'm a fucking bitch. Can be.
And then tell me.
Yeah, deal. Thank you. Great question.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
First, I just want to say you guys are really beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, my question's a little bit on the serious side. I was just wondering if you guys have any advice on how to deal with low self-esteem.
And how to deal with low self-esteem.
Yeah.
This goes back to what I was talking about before, is the best gift you can give yourself is to stop outsourcing your worth. We're told, especially as women, that you are who you are in relation to who you're married to, what service you do for others,
Who's giving you power?
who's giving you power,
validating
how
your
many
position.
children you can have. Your worth is never inherent. It's always given to you, that's right. And that's it's such a load of bullshit. It's a trick, it's a patriarchal trick. And what we can do now is we can go, oh, that's not true. I actually have everything I need within me. And so and this is a learning process, once we start reminding ourselves that we need nothing, everything that we need in terms of self-love and self-worth is all within us, you stop looking for things. You stop looking for self-worth. You stop looking for people to validate you. And sometimes that means not accepting validation. Or I wouldn't say not accepting it, I would say not making it the greatest thing in the world. A simple thank you to a compliment is just as good as going home, is better than going home and thinking, oh, that stranger thought I looked nice today, thank God. Thank God somebody else thinks I look nice. Why can't we think that we look nice? Why is that so foreign? Why is that so weird? Why are we, and we're taught this all the time, like be humble, be modest. Women have to be modest. Again, it's just it's an energy exchange of them going, you have to get your compliments externally. Don't create them internally. Like, that's bullshit.
can tell yourself you are fire.
It's a practice, but it starts with recognizing you don't need anything externally. You don't. I know it sounds easier than it is, but it's true.
I agree with that. I have something that has helped me in terms of self-esteem. And this is not going to sound kind for me to say. I would like to preface this by telling you, you are fucking perfect. Who you are is in transition. You are learning. You are growing. Do not judge this moment by where you're headed. You are fucking perfect. So, the technique that I need, that is the truth. What I had to learn is that I am not fucking psychic. I grew up trained to be psychic. Who's the angry person in the room? What do they need? What do you need? How do I be safe? Because what do you need? 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 I am a death-seeking machine. Who is the person most likely to kill me in this room, and how can I make them like me? How are you okay? How do I make you okay so I'm okay? How do I make you okay so I'm okay? How do I make you okay? And you know how I think I make it? Because I know, right? I know. I'm not fucking psychic. I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know. Even if you tell me, even if you say, Kim, here's what I fucking think of you. All I know is that that's what's going on in your head with you at that moment. So I had to start getting fucking brutal with myself about what is the truth. Am I saying they when I mean me? Oh, this is me alone with my thoughts. So my self-esteem will never improve if I'm giving all of, and this is what Briana was saying, if I'm giving all of the power to an imaginary outside, I never even meet what the fuck is going on in the reality of my inside. So my first step towards that was having to admit when I was lying to myself by giving somebody else a thought that I don't know that, that's not shit. All I know is what goes on inside my head. I'm not even entirely sure about that. So there is the actionable, my actionable answer to that is start getting brutal about what you really know and what you just think you know. Does that make any sense? A little bit? Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
So I have kind of a lighthearted question, but before I went into that, I kind of shortly wanted to say I was probably about 16 when I started watching this show. I'm 24 now, and I know I speak for, and I'm gonna get emotional, but I speak for so many women in this crowd when I say thank you for giving us fearless women and women that are unafraid to feel and be brave on television. I see Jody and Donna and myself when I go out to work, into my life, into the world, and that means a lot. And I know I don't just speak for myself, so thank you so much.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, did you just apologize to me for crying? Oh fuck, somebody's having feels!
You're both amazing, and you showed up on a show that was, I think supposed to be burly and was always kind of marketed for men, and you took it over, and you showed us that women can be just as powerful. We have room in the world to be as big, and that means a lot to a lot more people than you probably know. But for the question, which is a lot more lighthearted, a lot of people like to ask, do y'all believe in ghosts and spirits? Do you believe in any of the creatures on the show that might not have been ghosts or spirits?
Oh, any of the creatures on the show that are not ghosts?
Yes, it's been, cryptids have been very common. They're very big and very, in a lot of cultures, so there's a lot of people who believe in I'm gonna say Wendigos, even though I'm not supposed to.
I have suspicions about dragons.
I believe in vampires, because Kim saw one today.
I have, but legit, I do have suspicions about dragons, and I have some suspicions about mermaids. They don't look like they do on the tattoos.
I saw one on a TikTok.
Did you?
It's on TikTok, it's real, right?
So yeah, those are probably the two that would come to mind first.
Did they have a mermaid episode?
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me. I have not seen every episode. Don't get mad at me! Thank you so much. What a beautiful, beautiful thing to say. I will take this moment, I will put it in my love drawer, and I will take it out when I need it. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hi. I just want to ask, what do you think is your favorite way that your two characters have evolved over time in the show?
I think that Donna kind of really stepped into the role. She could have gone two ways. She could have done what Doug did, which was fuck no, the second Doug. But she was more like fuck yes. And Donna, like, in a way reminds me of fandom, where I feel like Donna was in a world, I imagine that she didn't have a massive social community, and or at her fingertips anyway, whether that was because she was career driven or not. I feel like she found community within the hunter community. And I think the hunter community gave her the inner strength and the courage to be truly who she is and to do the things we were just talking about, which is not to outsource her worth. And I wonder if that aligns with a lot of people in fandom. No? Okay. Just kidding.
I love that Jodie went from life being a series of sprints to one fucking long game. Like, she went from like, what's the, okay, what do I do? Okay, I gotta fix it, to, alright, guess we're doing this now. And she was able to take that energy and start conserving it. In fact, it became a thing to the point where when we were choreographing fights, and talking about for Wayward, everyone fights in their own style. Like a good fight choreographer will design fights that tell you who the character is. It's not just visually appealing. And Rob Hader and I were talking about the fact that Jodie is very Indiana Jones in the way she fights. She's very like, I'm just gonna wait for my opening, and in the meantime, I'm going to conserve my energy.
Yeah, he actually wrote that into the spin-off, right?
Yeah. So that's what I love about Jodie, is that she learned that her energy is valuable for staying alive, and she gets to keep it for herself.
What a beautiful thing to take into our own lives.
Yes, my energy is valuable.
It is valuable. Save it for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, bye everyone. No, just kidding, just kidding. Thank you. Hi.
My question is about tattoos.
It's about Texas.
Tattoos.
Got it.
Tattoos. So close, so close.
Texas.
Yes.
I don't know anything about Texas.
So I just recently got my first tattoo last month at age 54. So I finally bit the bullet and did it.
It's 54. At the age 54?
Age 54.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I love it so much. And
Uphill from here, baby.
Immediately started planning the next.
Exactly.
Because it's an addiction.
It's like Pringles.
Yes.
Once you pop, you can't stop. Put that on my OnlyFans account. See? I brought it back. Told you I'd do that. Okay, back to you.
Well, I know you both have tattoos and love tattoos, and so I'm wondering, do you have any additional tattoos planned? And could you tell us what you're thinking?
I lost my dad in May, and he was very sick, and so we went to go care for him in Saskatchewan, and I had to leave before he passed away a couple days after I left, but I said goodbye to him knowing that it was going to be the last time. And the last exchange that we had was I said, I love you, Dad, and he said, I love you too, girl. And so I was just going to get that tattooed on my arm somewhere.
town is fucked up. There's fucking the eclipse, fucking witchcraft everywhere. New Orleans is fucking weird. I love it. God, this is I could not move here. This is like the ant that I want to spend summers with because I'm gonna come home a changed human being. But I know I shouldn't live here because I will somehow be claimed by the fairies.
You just go to her house and steal all her furs and tarot cards and beignets.
Dress up. Oh my God, this is a good place. So cool. No, I have recently completed my sleeve. I have no more plans at this point. I'm sure at some point it'll happen because there's still skin on my body. But I tend to have much more. I only have 2 tattoos. They just take up 33% of my body.
That's like your favorite bar joke, right? Is you go, how many tattoos do you go? 2. People are like, this is very dumb. And you're like, you want to see a motherfucker? That's good, that's good. It's like sharking somebody in a pool. People think that you're going to be a wimp and you're like, actually, this took 25 hours. Great question. I can't wait to see your tattoo journey. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. I'm Monica from San Antonio, Texas.
Hey, Monica. Hey, we know something about Texas now.
Finally, there you go.
Let's talk about Texas.
Where are you going? Where are you? I'm just kidding.
So hashtag the Wayward Sisters loved the show. I wish it had, been successful. We need to start trending it so that maybe it'll come back. My question is pretty much what I asked earlier. Screw, marry, kill any of the characters on the show.
Who did you ask this to?
The 2 guys right before you.
Adam and David?
Wait, any of the guys on the what?
Any of the characters on the show. So if you could screw
the characters!
Any of the characters. Male, female,
Mary,
Wendigo,
characters.
vampire,
And is
anything you
this
like.
Kim or Donna who's answering? Or Kim or Jody who's answering?
Jody
Me.
and Donna.
Okay, Jody would obviously marry Donna.
They basically are married.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're obviously married.
I mean, they're a platonic relationship.
Yeah.
Which is very trendy right now.
Who would she screw? She's very tired.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, if I have to be honest, I don't know. There was that episode where Donna had all those like mustached men in her shed. I would say that Donna was asexual until there was that.
Jody would screw Jody.
That's right. We've established that Jody has a goodie drawer.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really hard training a new lover.
It's so much more efficient to have a goodie drawer. Jody Kill. I'm trying to think of all the people on the show. Kill. I'm not gonna fuck Misha.
That's not a character.
Charlie?
Exactly, it is. In French, it's Charles. That's true.
Jody would
Maybe.
kill Crowley. She knows that it wouldn't be permanent, but she still has feelings about that time he killed her almost. So that would just be, I think there's probably a little bit of ego involved. And she just wants to be like, I never liked you anyway, you bastard! Even though we all know she absolutely would have fucked him in a bathroom stall.
Oh, right! When I was going to be on the show, that was the first episode I watched because I knew that I was going to be on with you, not having met you yet. So I watched this episode. And you like went and chatted into a bathroom mirror or something like that?
Yes, and then my eyes rolled back in my head and I puked blood.
Right.
It was one of the lesser.
You had a pretty dress on. Hi! Just in time, we're playing Fuck, Marry, Kill. Well, we're not gonna answer. We're not gonna answer because it's mildly inappropriate. But I will say that I would be happy, honored, and fully pleasured to do the first 2 with Jody.
Thank you.
I believe, even if it's sharing a goodie drawer.
What were the options?
Any character
on the show.
But we're answering as our character.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's
It's tricky.
So your character would have a one-night stand with and marry Jody.
Yes.
And not
Possibly in that order.
Who would you kill in the cast?
You said Crowley.
Yeah.
And I said I didn't know because I don't know the show that well.
Right, sure. Okay.
Shut up!
Yeah.
How about you shut up? Stop shading me, man. Just kidding.
How about, let's, in an alternate world, Doug the First becomes a vampire and oops, you just
good one.
have to
There you
kill
go.
him.
There you go.
Doug the douche.
Problem solved.
Doug the douche has to die.
There we go. All right? Now, never disappoint these two, huh? Briana, Buckmaster, and Kim Rhodes! What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad girl, bad girl. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad girl, bad girl. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad girl, bad girl. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Well, guys. Oh man! All right. So here's the deal. That's the end of the on-stage panels. But there's still, there are meet and greets. I was waiting to play a little acoustic show for some people. There's some autographs going on. Lots of stuff going on. We're still playing two of us, just the two of us. Big castles in the sky. Guys, enjoy yourselves. Hydrate